Okay, so Liverpool very close to completing the Darwin Nunez transfer from Benfica. Sources are saying it's around 64 million initial, 21 million with add-ons, or 85 million in total. That is a big chunk of change for a player who's very, very young. He's only 22. He's obviously playing at Benfica. Now, he's Uruguayan, and there's a risk attached with signing, Uruguayan players especially, but South American players. Not every player has hit it off. I would say Firmino has been a success story, but then Veron, for example, and Diego Forlan, it didn't work in the Premier League, but it worked in other leagues in Europe where they did very well, but in the Premier League, it didn't work. Now, players coming out of Portuguese football, Wolves have done a good job with a lot of their Portuguese signings. Diogo Jota has been a pretty solid player. Now, he's played most of his senior career at Benfica. You could argue Cristiano Ronaldo, similar age, coming to Man United, late teens, early 20s. It took a season or two for him to really find his feet, and of course Man United have had those missteps with South American and Iberian players. Liverpool have done quite well with their South American signings and their signings from Spanish and Portuguese football in recent years, but it hasn't always been the case. Hasn't always worked for Liverpool with some of their Latin signing, so to speak. Now, who has to make way? Because someone has to make way. Origi's already out. He's already gone. Sadio Mane, Firmino, Salah and Minimino. I think Minimino and Mane are probably more likely to be on the way out than Firmino and Mo Salah. Diego Jota is not going anywhere. Neither is Diaz, who they've recently signed as well. So they're the more recent transfers that have come in. I am surprised they've let Origi go for nothing. Sadio Mane, speculation whether he goes to Bayern or not. Initial offer of 30 million being turned down. Firmino, has he actually played his last game for Liverpool? I think he's more likely, ironically, in my personal opinion, to leave than Mane or Salah. Although there's been Mo Salah's contract negotiations, Sadio Mane, the ongoing speculation about his ongoing future. And Minimino hasn't really had a chance in the side. He is a good depth player to have. When I have seen Minimino play, he's looked lively, but he hasn't really battled hard enough, I don't think, for a place to unseat Mane, Firmino or Salah. I think Origi had a better run in the Liverpool side and was more impactful for Liverpool. That's why I'm surprised Origi's been let go and Minamino's retained, for example. I think it should have been the other way around. Minamino, for me, hasn't really set Anfield alight. He's played well in patches, but I think Origi was the better player. Everyone can debate that. And how will Darwin Nunez, fare in Premier League? It's a tougher league than Portuguese football. It's a bit more physical. It's a slightly faster pace. It's a different style. And we've seen some South American players and players from the Iberian Peninsula, when they come to England, it hasn't. Morientes would be a prime example of an ex-Liverpool player where it hasn't worked. But then you've got Suarez, where it has. Where he's come from European football, South American, and he just exploded. But there's your difference. He's been playing in Portuguese football. Wolves have been very good in scouting some of the Portuguese players or players that have played in the Portuguese system. Yes, he's young. Yes, he's Uruguayan. There is a bit of a risk attached to that young South American, not long in European football. There is a risk attached with signing from Portuguese football these days. Not always been the case historically, but this is where the Portuguese league has been hampered by the UEFA coefficient over the last 20 years, and I'm very critical of that. But a lot of money, it's a big risk. They've got a very established front three that's very settled, but they've been freshening it up in recent times. So how much longer has Mane, Firmino and Salah got at Liverpool? And which one of those front three, of the senior front three, ends up leaving? Because one of them will. I think I'm more likely to see Firmino leave, in my opinion, than Sadio Mane or Salah. However, there's been some rumours of unhappiness with contract negotiations, and Bayern Munich obviously want to replace Robert Lewandowski. There's going to be some big transfers happening. Yes, we've seen a lot of movement with free transfers, but I think a big transfer like a Nunez, there's going to be some other big transfers happening this summer. Man United are having a clear out. Obviously Chelsea have got a new owner. Newcastle are in their first full summer transfer window under the new ownership. There's going to be some money thrown around in the Premier League. There's going to be some money thrown around in Europe as well. So Darwin Nunez looks very likely to be a Liverpool player by this evening, if not early next week. And which one of front three with their second tier, like Minimino, which one of those are Mane, Firmino, Salah and Minimino, which one of them makes way to fit Nunez into the squad? That's the question. But thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.